Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back Framework Fortune community. I'm your host Ben and we've got our co-host H&H Trader right over there on the other side. What's happening, buddy?
What's up?
Not too much on this Saturday. It was a wild Friday. Wild day yesterday in the stock market.
Yeah.
So it's time for the last strip. We're going to recap our trades we took, and there was multiple trades, and go over what happened with the SPY here at the beginning of the day. Having a big sell-off over the last few days here on the daily chart after hitting those highs of 470, and it held up the 10-day. You can see it right there on the 5-minute. Made a little double bottom before just ripping. And this was what, right here? This was a $3 rip just about?
Yeah.
$3 rip on the SPY, and then it continued to climb. So
If you showed the SPY, you're an idiot.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop, man. So, like, even with that little pullback there, it still looks like it's going to try to go. So, we'll see what happens on Monday. But Friday was hot. Fridays either can be really, really slow or they can be hot. And Friday was definitely hot. So, what did you get into? BL and K, I think, was one of them, right?
LNK and MRAM.
All right, so let's look at BLMK. This was on my scanners as well. I didn't trade it, but it's that nice uptrend.
Got in on that first dip right there at the bottom, right there.
Oh, very nice.
Yep. But I knew that fall was coming. I just didn't know where. So I rode it for about 3 or 4 of those green candles up. I think, right up there. And that's where I kind of got out. I didn't know where the drop was going. It showed a little bit of red, so I was like, all right, the drop's coming. But it went a little bit higher, then dropped.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you didn't leave much else on the table, just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a pretty safe out there with that red indecision candle. And this was running. Why was BLNK running? Did they have some news?
I believe they did.
Oh, they had. That's right. They had really good Q3 earnings.
Yeah, and the charging stations.
Yeah.
EV charging stations.
So, and EV has been hot the last couple of weeks, off and on, so.
I did 2 trades on this. So I bought that first dip, and then I watched it run up there, and it came back to the trend line down here, and I got back in down here, right there. That green candle you just passed. I got it in at the bottom, right off the trend right there.
Oh, very
right
nice.
There.
Yeah, $40 support area.
Yep. But this one, I was a little bit more scared, and I exited again on that little
bit of red right there.
Yeah, it started looking shaky, man.
Yeah, that's what it was doing. It gave another little one of those right there. It gave every time it had a little pop up, it would give one of those little indecision red candles. But still, 2 nice scalps playing that perfectly. I don't think he could have played it any better. And it's holding 39.50. So this trend line's cracked, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove these. Yeah, looking at this daily chart, it's a big indecision candle, so no telling which way this is gonna go Monday. More than likely, probably a pullback.
Because it's indecision, but it's to the low side.
Yeah, it did close. Did it close over 40 at the? No, not quite. Yes, that's a lot of indecision. There's no telling. And then you traded MRAM, right?
Yeah.
Another ripper. And if you call it the last rip Thursday night, Hal's watch list, all of them ripped except BTBT. So make sure you're catching these last rips so you can see if we've got any, hot stocks on the list to keep an eye on.
Now, this one was also following a trend off the, so I basically drew the trend from the bottom of the intraday where it is and then just said, okay, if it can follow this trend up, that's the trend I was looking at. And so it shot up initially, but when it shot up initially, I was already in BLNK, and I was like, all right, well, since the attention is over here on BLNK, I'll wait for it to fall. And so that's what I did. When BLNK failed, that's when I came over here to this stock. So if you compare the times of when it fell,
probably right I don't through know. Here, maybe. Let's see.
Yeah, BLNK. What exact time? Because I shifted right over to MRA right there. That's when
9 o'clock, and then MRAM.
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock. Yep, that's right when that one dropped and started pushing up again.
Exactly. So this is where I enter in this dip. I came over here and just switched right into it. I got a little bit but I wasn't sure. It kind of got kind of heavy up here at the top, and I was like, all
Yeah.
right, I need to get out of this because it started flat topping right there.
Yeah, all
And
those
so when it,
wicks hitting right
yeah,
there.
yeah, so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna wait for a drop, and the drop did happen, and it consolidated here. I was
Mm.
like, okay, looking a little flat. So it ended up trying to go down 3 times. You see those three red candles right back to back?
Yeah,
You
right
just
there.
right there. When I saw it fail to go down 3 times, I jumped in.
Yeah, and that even looked like that would be a bearish pattern. You got that indecision one, and then this one that tried to push down below the body, but like you said, just could not push under any lower. So pretty clear sign that this 915 area was holding out some support through there, and you sold it right there at that little tip.
Uh, I sold it on that first rip up, and then I kind of held. I sold some on that first candle, and then held some for the second little bit, and said, "All right, if it breaks down, if it starts giving me red, I'll get out." And so that's what that red candle right there, right behind it to the left.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that one. It took out half of that green candle, so I was like, "All right, I'm gonna jump on out."
Nice.
Yep.
And you took another trade on this one?
Yep, I bought back in on this bottom. It looks a little different on the 5 minute because I bought because of the 15 minute. How the 15 minute look, it was a huge drop, and I was like, all right, I'm buying back in here. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right there on the bottom there. That's why I bought back in because it was riding that trend. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a couple more shares here, and got that little rip there back across the 10, and I took a little bit off there, and then a little bit more riding into the close.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, see that right there, guys. A little fake out breakout before the tip of the triangle was still kind of early, and then it pulled back, and you get a little green indecision. Now, if this candle here would have dropped below the bottom of this green one, this more
Yeah.
than likely would have cracked, but it held
Yeah.
up, and then you had this bullish engulfing. So as soon as this green candle broke over that 996 to basically $10 area, the tops of these two candles,
Yeah,
that
I
right
got
there was
in
a
on the
go.
dip. Yeah, I got in on the dip of that red because I
Yeah.
saw it dipping down. I said, all right, if it can hold this previous green bottom, that'll be my risk level. So I don't know how many cents that is from the bottom of that red down to the green.
Oh, it wasn't
What's the
much.
bottom of the
Five
green?
cents. The bottom of the green's 976. The bottom of the red's 981. So it's 5 cents you were risking.
Yeah, that was my risk. So I was like, if it drops down, I'll just be out.
Exactly, and that's why you get the entries on the trend line. You don't want to a lot. Sometimes you guys will see me buy at the top for the break of the trend line. It's not a great idea to do that. So that was a pretty good day for you. Nice Friday, and that was all the trades you took.
Yep.
Now this held up all of its gains, so this may be. It's actually in a triangle pattern there in after hours too. I'll go ahead and remove this old one. But that may be one to keep an eye on for Monday, although it looks like it may shoot up hard in pre-market. Then if that's the case, it'll probably pull back at market open.
That
It's,
daily chart is still pretty green, right?
the daily
Where's
chart
the
is just one big spike.
yeah, where's the last resistance on? I think it was around 11, I believe. If you continue to go back,
It's on
I
at
think it was.
7. No. 756. We can go to a weekly chart and check.
Yeah, that one because I know I saw. Yeah, okay, there it is. So it had a flat top right there at the
Yeah,
$11,
11. Yep.
and then so it may have to come back and test around the 11 just to make sure it can hold up, and then it may give another move.
Yeah, that is a possible gap and go on Monday. All right, so I took a couple of trades, and a couple of them didn't work out too well. I got in RNXT. They had some news the day before. When I started trading this candle right here was pushing up green over the top of that body. So that's why I hopped in that. The top of that body was 852, and you can see it started pushing up, and I jumped in 70 shares at 846 looking for it to break. But that, there's a little bit at the top there. This was an accidental sell. This one, so it's showing us I had 70 shares. I was buying in like 10 at a time, and then I accidentally pressed sell and sold 10 shares at 842. So that actually was nothing. And then I just had 60 shares left. But it did climb up to 861 for a second, and it looked like it was going to build a nice little move up to the trend line, try to break 850 again, but just got slammed down. And as soon as it cracked the triangle, I had to get out. But that's what I was just talking about on that last play where Hal played it correctly. He was buying off the trend line and not buying at the resistance. I bought this at the resistance, literally at the top of this candle right here. That was also resistance in pre-market. And you can see that resistance held all the way through there. So if you're at support, you can risk way less than if you buy at resistance looking for a break. So I lost, on that 60 shares, I lost 30 cents a share. So that's, 18 bucks.
What did the
20
pre-market
bucks.
look like on this one?
The pre-market was a sideways movement
Yeah,
from yesterday.
I don't even touch those.
They had that nice little pop-up yesterday, went
Yeah.
sideways, and then, just kind of selling
If
off.
pre-market doesn't have a good angle on it, I'm not gonna touch it because I just learned. Look, that's a good way to bump your head.
Yeah, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. That's just kind of like a channel. There wasn't much volume in between there, but yeah, this one just did not do its thing at all. End up selling off the rest of the way. It is still above all the EMAs, so we could keep an eye on it just to see if it continues to hold. That 10-day is very close to crossing the 200, which would make that go back bullish again. So we'll see. But yeah, it's like a little $20 loss there. And then I got in NUZE.
Ooh.
I waited for that pullback, and then it threw that wick up there. And then when it started pushing up right here and rebroke 6, I thought that was a pretty strong move. And then it just got slammed. I got in 40 shares at 610, and then it just had that nasty dump, and I had to jump out of there. So that was another. We'll see. Well, that one is actually a little bit more, about 60, 70 cents per share. So that was $28. Yeah, that sounds about right. So I was down 50 on between those two plays. Did I take another play? Oh yeah, and then I got in Blaze. Now Blaze, a little higher price one, it was starting to move in pre-market, riding up this trend line from yesterday, that new IPO. And I waited for it to start going. I didn't buy it on this candle. I waited for it to try to push over 22 for the break, just 10 shares, and it didn't break right away. But it just ended up being a slow mover all day. You see, I even had a little triangle drawn there, but never dropped back below my entry except for like a little bit on this one candle. So I just continued to hold it, and you can see it hit a new high of year there. Second day of this thing being out, but hit a new high at 23.25. So I'm up about $10 there. And then my swing trade STRN, which I swung. I bought Wednesday back here, 150 shares. I held it through this uptrend and then sold Friday yesterday. This was for a $100 win. So I sold a part of it right there because I didn't know if it was going to crack. And then the rest of it started when it started pushing up and couldn't hold above $6. I sold all of it. So this is a $100 win. So with that swing trade finishing out the week with the 2 losses, it's $50 green on Friday, and then still on that swing with Blaze or BLZE, up $10. So we'll see how that one works out. But that was all the trading I did, and there was plenty of other rips. DWAC had a nice rip breaking out of this triangle pattern on the daily. Orlando called this in the live stream. He made a nice profit on it. Now, looking at this, because DWAC, we've been waiting for it to cool down. You think it's cooled down enough yet? I'm not sure with that big wick right there.
Nope.
Yeah, like we did break out of the triangle, but then we got slammed right back to that same price area.
Not only that, DWAC on this trading day was, if you look at the 15-minute or you're on the 15-minute, it is so unpredictable. Like, first of all, look at the pre-market, absolutely flat.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, maybe if you were lucky, the market does pay stupid. So if you were lucky and you bought this, okay, but tell me, how would you know that before time it was going to blast like that? Well, you don't. You just wake up and you're like, oh, I made money. But, that's a good way to get into a losing habit.
Yeah. I think Orlando got in it the day of, but he was watching for this break of this triangle on the daily chart. But yeah, you wouldn't know from this pre-market that it was going to break like this through there. But you could kind of time it. If you're looking for the day trade on it, you got it on your watch list because you see the triangle. You could have caught that pop. He caught it. I don't know how
Yeah.
much he locked out on it, but he did catch it. I don't know. We'll see. I want to see if it's going to continue to push up any. But
I
if it
don't think so.
Monday, if well, I was about to say Monday with this wick right here and the way it
No, just
started
look at the
selling
how it
off.
closed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, so we're on the same page there. That could be a dump. That could be a dump coming. We'll see what happens there. Another big ripper was WNW, but this was just a halt fest. Just nonsense. Ripped from 343 up to 620, but there was just so many halts.
Yeah,
There's
I
that
had
one
one
halt
problem with
there.
this one.
Yeah, what was that? Well, there's a couple problems. I didn't touch it because it's below the 200 day.
I didn't touch it because it couldn't hold the five. It struggled around the five. It took
Oh yeah,
off because it was a low float, but it came right back to the five.
yeah. Couldn't even stay over it at all. Sold all the way out to 423. I don't think that one's probably going to do anything else. We could keep an eye on it, but you look at this daily chart, and the daily chart's trash anyway. It's just kind of a random popper. Other than that, you got anything else on your watch list?
Nope, I'm trying to see if Monday's gonna crank up and pay us. I'm gonna be cautious on Monday because sometimes when Fridays are hot, it's like Mondays are very cautious.
Yeah,
Yeah, people come in walking on eggshells.
it's hard to say this because the way the SPY looks, it looks like it could be a very hot Monday, but you're right. It could also, you just never know. That's why I'm continuing to just wait until 9 a.m. Central. I let all the chaos get done. Then I come in, try to pull my deposit or my withdrawals out of the ATM. One more I wanted to cover before we go is VUZI. This one I went on a big rip last year, and I was talking about it down at $2 last year. Augmented reality stock. I've looked into this. It's not made my top 10 tech stock list of each year. Made honorable mention once, but we have an interesting pattern. Now, HH, I know you don't like this stock, but I like what I'm seeing here. We got a nice uptrend. I'm actually going to... So there's that nice uptrend started, and we had that little bit of flat there before it broke out. So there's a triangle on Friday it broke up out of, and this was a move from 1288 up to 1510, and it held all those gains. So I'm looking for that 10-day to cross over the 200. It's right there. We may have a pullback Monday one more time to test the 200-day at 1320 or something like that. But Tuesday or Wednesday, I think we're going to see VUZI try to make a bigger move. What do you think? Because I know you don't like it. I've been saying it, and you've been saying, no, I don't like it.
I just seeing it go back and retest that $12, maybe 10.
Let's see. No, I don't think it'll get that low. At 200 days at 1320, yeah, 1315. I'll have to test that first.
Believe we'll see a nice little test of that next week.
Maybe. But I'm going to be keep an eye on it. I may or may not swing it. I don't know yet. It's going to depend on what happens Monday. So, if you guys haven't been joining us for the live streams, or if you're new to the channel, be sure to check out the live streams Monday through Fridays, 9 a.m. Central on the Framework Fortune channel with me. Earlier than that, in pre-market with Hal over at HH Trader channel. Link in the description. And go sign up for frameworkfortune.com because it's free. Appreciate everybody joining us as always. Stay safe out there. Till next time.